Hello everyone, Shadefyre here, and today I'm going to be taking a first impressions look at Elden Ring. Something I meant to do from the very beginning of the game, but unfortunately this has been technical issues souls for me so far, and the issues are still not entirely fixed. I'm still getting stuttering. However, it seems a little less unmanageable now than it was before, so we're just going to do this video, and if it turns out to be a technical nightmare, well, here's your warning that it might have horrible stuttering in it. But I'm getting a little impatient because people won't shut up about Elden Ring, and I would like to play some of it, so, oh, yep, there it is. There's the stuttering right there. I hope you saw that. I don't know what causes that. There's a million potentially placebo guides out there for, hey, this might fix the stuttering, and I've tried a bunch of them already. It has not fixed the stuttering. It's not gotten rid of it. We just have to wait, and From Software have already addressed that the stuttering is a thing and that they are going to patch it. However, their past history is not great for the time frame of when the patch is going to drop. It usually takes them months to get around to doing anything. They're only slightly better than Square Enix because Square Enix just don't ever patch anything, no matter how broken it is. So, we're here in Limgrave, the starting area. You start off inside this, catacombs, and pretty much my only experience with the game after going through the catacombs is running back and forth from here to that swamp over there to test out. Oh, yep, there's another good double stutter. Is to test out performance issues. So I've seen a little bit, but I have really not gone much farther than this vista right here. So there's a grace right here, which is this game's equivalent to bonfires. It is very much open world Dark Souls 3 in terms of how it plays so far. It has the speed and focus on dodges that Dark Souls 3 had versus the slower pace of the first two. Also got this lady here. I have seen a few NPCs around, but I haven't talked to any of them yet because I didn't want to start anything until I'd actually had the game working.
Oh yes, Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
So that's where the meme comes from.
Without the
Maidenless.
And without an invitation to the round table hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity.
Here comes the rain. So there is a day-night cycle, and there is weather. And I don't know if that really affects anything beyond visuals, but like I said, I have not delved very much into this. Okay, so we're maidenless, and I'm pretty sure that means we can't level up right now until we meet the seer lady that shows up in the beginning.
Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me. Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you, Tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a Tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you, Tarnished, to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave.
By which it's saying that this is the main path, so if you just want to make story progress, you follow the beam, which is something that Souls has never had. Souls has never had something that just says, go this way. But also, previous Souls games were a lot more directed in terms of their areas, since generally there was only so many ways you could go. Whereas here, because it's open world, there's a lot more just I could just fuck off in that direction, go see what's up with that tree over there. And so it's hey, you might want to go this way. Now, I have the impression that before I go too far, I'm going to want to follow this to get the horse, because, the horse is how you traverse the world. So it looks like my stutter is following a consistent pattern of every few minutes I'll get 2 back-to-back stutters. So we're just going to accept that that is going to be the case for this video. I do want to do more videos on this game, so I'm hoping that we actually do get a patch on Monday or Tuesday to resolve this, and then I can do those without the technical issues. But as it is, these are just going to be part of my first impressions because, you know, this is how the game came out. And, like, let's not beat around the bush here. This game is getting amazing reviews on a purely content side, and the consoles are not having the stuttering problem, obviously. This seems to be unique to the PC. So, this is a good game once you can play it as it's intended and not constantly have to struggle against technical problems. And I am excited for it now that it's out. I had no hype leading into Elden Ring beforehand, but now that it's actually out, I do have some excitement for it. So, I think we're just going to wander off and then maybe double back after I get my ass beat, because it sounds like, while there are a lot more paths to go in this game, it's kind of like poke your nose out in a direction as far as you can before you get slapped down and go, maybe I should come back here later when I have better stuff. There is this guy on a horse here. I'm pretty sure we can't beat him yet. But I started off with the samurai class. Originally, I was going to do the wretch, which is, you know, the deprived class or whatever from the other Souls games, where you start with no levels and no equipment except an unga club. But then I said, you know what, fuck it. Let's have it a little easier for once and go with samurai. So I started with an Uchigatana, which is a pretty good dex weapon in previous games. It's nice that they just start you with this. And I guess I'm going to go with a dex build. I usually end up with a strength build that I've kind of just used all the way back from Demon's Souls, where I end up using a shield and a greatsword. And I know Souls people would be very upset about that because, oh, don't use a greatsword with a shield, you should just be rolling everything with a greatsword. But they also say you should just be naked and rolling at all times, so they can fuck off. Okay, so this is a skull. I've learned from my minimal exploration that you can break these for items. And you just get a golden rune out of it, which is currency, the equivalent to souls or blood echoes, or I don't remember what the currency was in Sekiro. Also, initially I thought there was no option to two-hand anymore, because when you hit Y, it just brings up the UI, and that previously the triangle or Y was the two-hand button, but you actually have to hit right bumper, or sorry, Y and then right bumper to switch to two-hand. And like Dark Souls 3, the weapons all have these weapon skills. In this case, you can do a sheath and then a fancy draw. Which, if I remember correctly, didn't Sekiro have that basically exact move as one of the skills you could equip? But the thing is, so you can equip other skills now instead of just using the one the weapon comes with. I want to go down there, and I thought this was the path to there. Or I thought I saw a path leading down the cliff, so that's what I'm looking for here. The other thing, of course, is that you just have a jump button instead of having to, like, double tap roll or click in this stick while holding run. You know, Dark Souls games did not have very good jump mechanics, but they usually still had jump mechanics. There's also crafting materials everywhere because you can craft stuff. I don't know what you can craft, but I know you can craft stuff. Also, some of these stutters are going to be loading zones. That's when I just get, like, one instead of a double. Maybe I can't get down here. I thought this cliff had a path leading down. Unfortunately, also no photo mode. It seems like only the Demon's Souls remake had an actual photo mode. Tarnished golden sunflower. Okay, well, these are new. I'm not sure what's up with that. That looks like it'll launch you in the air, but that would be a weird thing to have in a Souls game. But there are two of them, so yeah, it looks like I can go up there, and then maybe launch across the bay. There's also an island over there. It looks like it has stuff on it, but I don't know if there's a way to cross water. So, if I want to get down there, I think I can just run along this cliff. But yeah, this path down there seems to run for quite a while along the cliffside, so there's a whole zone down there. I'm curious how many of the bigger streamers were getting stutters while streaming this, because, you know, I've seen some people that have posted, like, 13-hour streams, or, you know, 13-hour recordings of streams of this game, so I wonder how much of that is just them going, fuck it, and putting up with the technical issues. I could probably jump down here. Actually, no. It does seem like it's sloping down, so I'll just go around this rock. Then again, a lot of them have, you know, dramatically overpowered systems because in the great era of no graphics cards, they get them sent to them by NVIDIA. We got a giant over here with a big nail stuck in him. Probably gonna kill me if I look at him twice. But it would not be a Souls-like if we didn't just die a bunch. I wonder if I can... Well, I can't stealth him, but I wonder if he'll walk right by me without noticing me. The big hole in the middle does make him look a lot like the giants from Dark Souls 2. But yeah, it looks like he just has a big old nail sword. Think I can cut his hammies? Or like backstab his leg? He has very small legs for the size of his body. Ooh, he was not happy about that. Okay, he doesn't have that much health, but ooh, that is a lot of damage on that sweep. Also, they've changed it now, so you still have a flask to heal, but your flask actually has a number of charges that you can divide between mana and health. Okay, I also tried to press A to roll, and that's Monster Hunter, that's not Elden Ring. There's those chunky stutters that make fights like this very difficult. But again, that's my experience with the game. I wonder how much damage you have to do before he pulls out the sword. This is doable, but I don't know if I'm going to pull the... Oh, there we go. Now he's real mad. That didn't really seem to have changed his attack at all. Alright, let's see if we can down a giant. That would be nice. Okay, so he hits the wall and bounces off, so that's part of the strategy. It's also interesting, you can kind of use jump to avoid some attacks, but it doesn't use stamina like roll does. Ooh, okay, that was a lot of AoE. I am out of heals, so no more hits allowed. See, normally with an enemy like this, you'd want to stay close to him, but it seems like he has a lot of AoE attacks, where he just slams the ground. A bit less of an ominous sound when you die, though, compared to the previous games. Still, we just have to go and pick up our runes. That part hasn't changed whatsoever. Interesting that it says the compass tells you where your body is. I guess if you don't remember how to get to where you were. Okay. So, pop down here. I have no idea what you can actually craft with this stuff I've been picking up. But I'm going to keep picking it up, because I'm sure it'll come in handy eventually. So he was behind this. I don't know what these ruin fragments are. I picked up a bunch of them from this thing. Also, no fall damage there. That would definitely give you fall damage in the previous Souls games. That height I dropped from. Also, I've heard that in addition to just being a very large map, the map is absolutely covered in underground areas and caves and whatnot to explore. It's actually a little farther away than I thought. Is this building anything? It seems weird that there's a structure here that doesn't seem to have any way in. Now the question is, do I want to try to fight the giant again, or do I just continue? Because I can definitely outrun the giant. Where did he even come from? He came from, like, over here somewhere. Maybe he comes all the way up? Okay, there he is. So I could just avoid him, but yeah, that's a doable fight. It'd be even more doable without any technical issues. Oh, and what I was going to say, before I got cut off by probably one of his attacks, is that it seems like it's a good idea to jump and attack his face when he does one of his ground slams, since that's usually a weak point for big enemies like that. Okay, this might actually not lead anywhere either. Yeah, this is... Well, I could drop down from here, I think. But again, we're gonna keep exploring along the cliffside. I have a dinky little shield too, but that wouldn't do much good against his attacks. I think one hit would completely wipe my stamina and knock me over. So it's not worth trying. I'd rather just stick with the two-hand and the rolls. What is that? Just a big pile of snakes, I think? Or tentacles? We're gonna go see what that is. I've heard there are some very good monster designs in this, which is not surprising, because generally From is very strong on the art side. But it's nice to hear that there's a bunch of different kinds of weird stuff in here. I really need to actually go and play Dark Souls 3. I have been putting it off because I wanted to complete all of the content in Scholar of the First Sin for Dark Souls 2, and then I got stuck at a point where it was like, either I fight this very annoying dragon boss that keeps wiping me out with fire, or I fight this other difficult boss, and he has 3 times the health. Because you got an item from the dragon that further decreases his health. But I ended up finally beating the dragon, then beating him, and then I started on the second DLC, the Crown of the Iron King, and that's where I stopped. I had to fight the Fume Knight. I didn't get stuck, I just have to go back to it, and then a bunch of shit came out. There's also some kind of, like, will-o'-the-wisp over there. Is that an anomaly? There's also wildlife, which is something that was pretty much completely absent from previous Souls games. That looks like a cormorant. So, what do you think this is? Is this an invisible enemy, an environmental hazard, or is it coming from somewhere specifically? It's making a mystical noise. There's got to be something over here. No, is that a grace, or is that just a regular bonfire? I think it's just a regular fire, but there might be an NPC. I think typically when you see there's a fire in the distance, there's an NPC standing next to it. From the other ones I saw. What's going on with you, fella? Smoldering butterfly. I got one of those from one of the other fires as well, so I wonder if those are for lighting fires? Haven't really been looking at the items I'm picking up. Okay, these are all crafting materials. These are also crafting materials. Seems like those don't have the big long descriptions. Oh, I have this thing too. I have to remember to use that. That was my starting gift. And this is for upgrades. Do you seriously have nothing to say? Strip of white flesh. Oh, is he going to try to kill me because I took that? Apparently, he is not an NPC. Because he would not talk to me until I robbed him. Alright. It's a long walk down here, so I don't want to die. Oh, that long pause before he attacks. You can actually block without a shield. Ooh, that's a good counter. You can also do a charge attack out of this. One more hit. I should have just swung. But I wonder what his deal is. Like, as far as I could tell, there was no way to talk to him without picking that item up. I have a bow, too. I keep forgetting about that. Samurai starts with a bow, a katana, and a shield. I don't know what this means, either. I think you could summon other players once you activate that within a given area. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I'm not particularly worried about losing my runes right now, considering that I can't level up yet. But I'll try to go retrieve him from that guy. I might have been able to use the shield against him, but honestly, he had a pretty big fucking sword, so I think that equally would have battered this crappy little shield aside. Man, it really is a long walk to get down there. That's why I didn't want to die. But he didn't really give me much of a say in that regard. Did I take the wrong path again? This doesn't look familiar to where the giant is. Let's see. Nope. Oh, well, there's that thing there. Oh, the path's over there. I guess I passed it. Yeah, so this obviously would take a lot less time with a horse if I could just run down the cliffside. And the horse does seem like it's good enough that you can really just kind of get out of most engagements. Not with everything, because it seems like there are some pretty large, fast enemies. But, you know, like the giant, for example, I'm pretty sure I could easily outrun with a horse. And also, it is a magic horse, so you can summon it at any given time, I think. As long as you're outside. Okay, I'm not taking damage from that. I wanted to double check. We're just going to sprint right at that asshole, and we are going to cut him down before he can stand up. Unless he's already standing up, in which case, well, I guess we flee. I don't suppose there's another grace down here, so I don't have to walk all the way down. Can generally see them from a decent distance, because they're a little golden glow. Nope, just a big slimy thing. You think I could walk there? Because, like, it very much looks inviting. There's a tortoise. It's weird to see just completely normal animals in such a weird fantasy world otherwise. What do you think, tortoise? What are my chances with whatever the fuck that is over there? Good point. There are two of them. Oh, there's even, like, smaller versions. I want to get a good look at what this is. Is it a writhing mass of eels? I see suckers. It looks like something wrapped around something else. Hello, nightmare. It doesn't seem to have detected me yet. I'm not sure I wanted to detect... Oh. That was a hostile crunch. Ooh, yeah, that is durable. What is it? It's got some horrible beak, but it's like not a typical cephalopod beak. Please do not switch targets to the faraway one. I want to know if I can hit the tentacles. I mean, typically with enemies like this in Souls games, you don't want to target them because you'll end up getting some bad hits. Okay, severing the tentacle did a big chunk of damage, so that seems like the strategy here. That one did not do a big chunk of damage, though. Okay, well, now that he doesn't have tentacles, he might be easier to... Perfect time for a stutter. Okay, grew back the tentacles, so that's maybe a chance for me to get some more damage in. It seems like only that one actually does a lot of damage, though. Also, hitting it in the beak is definitely not doing the right damage. So maybe if I hit him in the back, he's a little squishier. Nope, that actually does even less damage. Tentacles it is. God, the sounds it makes, too. This thing is great. Oh, grew back the same tentacle. That one didn't do a big chunk of damage that time. Okay, it looks like we staggered it, like Bloodborne style. Well, that went much better than any of our other challenges. Land octopus ovary. Oh, and strips of white flesh, so that was just some octopus food that this guy was carrying around. Land octopus. You must be able to craft like bombs or something out of these ruin fragments for them to be this common. Alright, I don't want to fight another one. I want to kill that guy first. Oh, hold on. Oh, wow. He got much closer, much quicker than I expected. Don't worry, the stutter will let me get away in bursts. Yeah, he's not interested. Now, I'm debating whether I should heal before I get to... Ooh, don't think I want to touch that. Or do I? Okay, touching it doesn't actually do anything. Generally, it's safe to expect anything at all in a Souls game will kill you. Like, if it's moving, if it's making a glow, if it's making a noise, it'll probably kill you on contact. Probably backstab this guy. He doesn't look like he's anyone of importance. Get fucked. Okay, so I think that's the barbaric yell the wretch starts with. Which means he'll do more damage. I'm using the shield. I don't want to be using the shield. Yeah, see how much fucking stamina damage that did for one block? It's not worth it. Oh, I don't want to two-hand the shield either. I want to two-hand this. I like that draw attack, though. It's fun. He didn't even drop anything. What a fucking scrub. And grab my stuff. I suppose these fires are just where you get the butterflies from. So is there anything of value in this corner, or was it just a guy to get some runes from? Alright, well, let's continue along the beach. So yeah, the combat does feel, from my somewhat limited experience with Dark Souls 3, where I was playing through it and then I stopped and was like, I should finish the other two Souls games first. It does feel closer to that than to 1 or 2. You know, it's not quite like Bloodborne speed where you're constantly dodging and shifting to the sides and whatnot, but it is definitely faster than old Souls. But it's also not Sekiro, even if I'm playing as a samurai. Sekiro was honestly like one of the best games in the last 10 years for me. I really enjoyed it. And I really do feel like I actually got a bit better, just like reaction time-wise, after having finished it, because I felt that similar games I played after felt easier because of me finishing that. Okay, we're not going to fight the other big land octopus. I'm just going to start running down the beach. I want to find out what the mystery behind that big white updraft is before we die again. So the stutter I'm getting right now is not unplayable, but it's definitely frustrating, especially when it happens in the middle of a fight. I've gotten lucky and not gotten, like, smoked during the stutter, but I could. Fuck off, bag zombies. They're trying to flank me. And I hear more of them showing up behind me. Okay, just one. So this is some kind of pack hunter. There's also a mechanic where defeating a pack of enemies like this will actually give you a refill on your flask. I think it's just one charge, but that's still nice because it means less having to go back to a grace just to refill when you're out exploring. It's a very fast attack with a good range on it. String. So I've yet to find a single piece of gear, but like I said, I had very limited exploration back and forth on the cliff, fighting bats. So it's nice to actually be playing this, even if it's not running at its best. I was just really impatient, so normally I would just wait for a game to be at its best, but it's hard when you own the game and everybody else is playing it and showing off their little moments on Twitter. It's hard to be like, well, I'm just going to not touch it until it runs better. But I do think this game deserves to run at its best, and it's a shame that they didn't do a little more thorough testing on PC. But I think PC is, even though they've started supporting it, you know, obviously this came out on launch day on PC as well, From are still not primarily focusing on PC. That's kind of probably the last one. What is this contraption you're holding? Is that a musical device?
What do you need? I don't want any trouble.
I don't know. What do you have? Nomadic merchant. Shop menu. You can spend runes to purchase items. Sell items for runes. Well, at least here's a use for my runes until I get my own maiden. So we got neutralizing boluses for poison. That's your moss clump. And your red moss clump. Buildup of sleep. That's new. I don't remember sleep being a stat ever. Armorer's Cookbook. Expands crafting repertoire. That seems like a good thing. How many runes do I have? I have 1,800. Or I could buy this broadsword that I don't have the stats for. Club. Short bow. I actually don't even know what kind of bow I have. I haven't even looked at it. But I probably need some arrows. He also has an iron round shield, which only has 71% physical damage reduction. I usually don't bother with a shield unless it has at least 95% physical reduction, because otherwise you're taking chip damage even when you successfully block, unless you parry. And we also have 2 notes about enemies that impart knowledge in brief. I think I'm just going to buy this because I want to see what it says, if it gives you, like, real hints. And I'm going to buy this because more crafting recipes. I don't even know how to craft yet. Well, thanks, dude. That is one sickly-looking donkey. Horse. I was going to say donkey, but then it, like, kind of also looks more like a horse. It's definitely a crossbreed. But it sounds like there are just merchants all over the place like that, which is nothing new. Souls has always had, like, inconveniently located merchants. But it's nice when you're wandering the world and you're like, oh, look, a person who will sell me stuff. Okay, we're almost at that updraft, which I'm hoping will let me cross the bay here. So the map is weird because, like, here it doesn't look very big, but and then you, like, do this, and I don't know how far it will actually scroll out. Also, nice thing, you can fast travel to any grace from anywhere, so you don't have to run back to the bonfire to teleport to a different bonfire. We got slimes here. I'm gonna guess that, just like typical slimes, they have huge damage reduction to everything except fire or magic. So it's probably not worth fucking battering at this guy. I also haven't checked yet if weapons have durability, but I'm just gonna assume that they do. In the previous games, these guys would drop Titanite, so I would hope that they drop some crafting materials as well. It looks like they're actually using the Sekiro system of reducing their stamina enough will stagger them like that, and then you can get a finisher in. So that's interesting to combine that with Souls stuff. So that even enemies like this, where you're barely doing any damage, as long as you're hitting them quickly, you'll be battering away their stamina. And I think I just did bleed on him. That's what that big chunk was. Thin beast bones. I was gonna say, why does a slime have bones? But I guess it was just full of melted bones. I should really, like, look at what my equipment is. Now that I'm actually playing the game and not just seeing if it runs. How do I even do that? I go inventory. Okay, we got some of these prism stones, or is that what they were called before? Sometimes they're pebbles, sometimes they're prism stones. Okay, Uchigatana. Katana with a long, single-edged curved blade, a unique weapon wielded by the samurai from the land of reeds. The blade, with its undulating design, boasts extraordinary sharpness, and slash attacks cause blood loss. Okay, so it does do bleed, which, the way that typically works is just it builds up on an enemy, and then when it fills up, it just has a big, flat chunk of damage. And it sounds like Unsheathed just does a fast attack, so there's nothing fancy about that. Longbow, made to fire arrows over great distances. Compared to a short bow, arrows fired reach further and deal more damage. Okay, so I do have a longbow. Jumping on horseback near a spirit spring to ride the current high into the air. Okay, so it's useless without a horse, is what you're telling me. Well, at least it tells you. It's the only Souls game that has tooltips that pop up. Oh, skeletons. They're like shipwrecked skeletons, or I guess skeletons from a shipwreck. Okay, you're almost done. How do I keep ending up with this damn shield? It's because I unequipped my sword. Unfortunately, because these are skeletons... Okay, that was a bad gamble on how far he'd go. Man, so far I'm running into a lot of enemies that have longer range than I do with this sword. Alright, I'm out of juice. But, like, I can't even really follow up on his swing, because by the time I get close enough to swing back, he's already made another one. There we go. Okay, are you gonna stay dead, or are you gonna respawn? Yeah, typically skeletons in Souls games, you gotta hit them once they're down. Otherwise, they'll reform. I really wish I'd found a grace down here somewhere. Get out of here, slime. It's kind of hard to look past these guys and see if there's one over there. I wonder if I can sneak up and backstab the skeleton before his friend sees me and stabs me. Didn't even... Alright, well, the other one has a crossbow, so... That's where I'd actually want the shield. Better just to not get hit, though. Now, what were they guarding? What wonderful treasure. Gold pickled fowl foot, which is just another crafting ingredient. God damn it. Alright, and it looks like that's just a cliff, so no walking through there. Which means that my little down-the-cliff adventure was a waste. It was a goddamn waste of time. I mean, it wasn't, because I found out what's down here, and I know that I can come back down here with the horse. But for the moment, it means that that's the end of this direction. But again, thankfully, I can just fast travel up instead of having to walk all the way up the cliff. So, I think we're going to just follow this direction, see if we can get to the next spot. Also, you can pass the time of day here. But yeah, if you look here, you can... That's not what I want. You can allocate how many mana flasks and how many health flasks you want. I think I'm just going to put them all into health right now because I don't really have anything that uses mana. It sounds like magic generally makes this game easier, which is why I didn't pick one of the magic classes to begin with. But I also usually don't bother with magic in Souls games because of the way the limited number of casts work. In Demon Souls, you had mana, and you would just use specific grasses to restore your mana. But then after that, they started going with just a limited number of casts you have per spell until you go back to a bonfire. And I wasn't really digging that because, you know, what happens when you run out of charges for all of your spells and you haven't reached the next bonfire? So you would still need a weapon anyway. Okay, I think it wants me to fight this horse guy or get killed by this horse guy in the process of following this beam of light. But I think I'm just going to ignore him. Oh, this is the tree sentinel. So this is the boss, I guess, that tanks the frame rate for most people. I love how getting knocked down meant I had to extremely slowly get back up while getting trampled by a horse. Oh, I should have read that tooltip. Go back, please. So I just kind of assumed the tree sentinel was like, you know, a big tree. Like the, whatever that tree boss in Dark Souls 3 was. But apparently it's just a guy on a horse. So I think it probably told me to jump attack to get this guy off his horse. Fucking goddammit. Never liked bows in Souls games either. You fucking kidding me? Are you telling me he has a... I think I'm shooting over his shoulder. Okay, he's got his back turned to me, so now he can't sidestep the arrows by accident. There's that stutter again. Right when I'm getting attacked. So pretty much if you get hit by that sweeping attack, you're dead. Because even if you survive it, he'll just stomp on you. Who's this fella? This lion-faced fella. I've also heard that pretty much all of the major bosses have a respawn statue. It's not the same thing as a bonfire. It's literally just like a respawn point. You know, you can't rest there or anything, but if you die, you can choose to respawn there. So that's nice instead of having to do the old run back to the bonfire and then run to the boss when you die. That was a good iframe. Oh yeah, he definitely tanks the frame rate when he attacks. I wonder why, though. He's not really doing anything fancy. Fingers crossed they get that tooltip about mounted enemies again. Critical hits. Nope, that's not what I need. Sleep, support, phantoms. So in addition to having players summon phantoms in this, and I assume like NPC phantoms, there's also a different kind of summon that is basically just like minions, and you can find different ones, like imps or skeletons or whatever. So it's interesting that they have another system for that. It's also funny that they put this guy right in front of the summoning spot. I think I'm still hitting the horse when I jump at him. Yeah, see, the stutter is... I can see why people are like, this is the stutter boss. It's somehow getting worse when he's around. So I don't know how many times we're going to attempt this before I say that's the end of the video, but this is definitely going to have some kind of sassy title about the stuttering. And then, as I explore around more, we'll probably do more just videos of me being like, hey, we're going to go in this direction today. Because this seems like the perfect game for that kind of what can we discover video. Can you even get up here? It seems like this is the spot to stand if you don't want to get trampled. Nope, he can get up here from there. Ugh. God, that is gross. The stamina regen is also very fast, I'm noticing, even with this armor. Very Bloodborne-looking area there in the loading screen. Alright, now what if I just run past him and go into the church? I mean, as best as you can run past a man on a horse. I bet he is scripted, though, to detect you even if you're not even close to him, if you go in this direction. So yeah, really hoping that From has a quick fix for this and doesn't just, like, drag it out. Oh, well, there's some more lines. So I guess there's a grace in here we need to activate to get our next step. Church of Elle. What's going on in here, Elle? Yep, you can fast travel. Are we going to get a maiden now? Hi, I'm the maiden. I'm here to level you up.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Even in the cutscenes, you get those stutters. Well, I mean, it's a in-engine cutscene, so it's not surprising.
I offer you an accord.
Alright, so I think now we can
Of the finger maidens.
touch the demon inside her to level up.
They serve the two fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless.
Yeah, so they keep telling me.
I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree.
Is she like a pocket maiden? Refuse, I don't need your help, woman.
Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength.
Okay, so now I think we can just level up at any grace.
Ah, Another matter.
Do you want a
I
horse?
bequeath to you this ring.
Spectral steed whistle. So yeah, there was like at least one comment about a guy who never got the horse, who was like, "Oh, this game is so big and empty and pointless. I ran around for 12 hours and only found 2 bosses."
Use it. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you.
By which I mean, I
Treat
have
him with
forced him to
respect.
work for you. I have chosen for him to choose you.
Shall I turn your runes? Just let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment.
Alright, how much is this going to cost
Share
me?
them with me. Your thoughts. Your ambitions.
811 runes to
The
level up. That's not too
principles
bad,
you would
because
follow.
Samurai starts at level 9. So yeah, I think I'm going to be going into Dex. None of the stats seem particularly new. Vigor is health, Mind is MP, I guess that's the newest one. But I think that Dark Souls 3 had a stat that managed that as well, because your weapon skills also used mana. Endurance is your equip load and your stamina. Strength is your strength weapons. And also a little bit equip load, but usually it's endurance that's most of the equip load. Dexterity is your fancy dex weapons and your bows. Intelligence is magic. I think all 3 of these are magic, but I think they're for different types of spells. Intelligence, faith, and arcane. You know, spells, miracles, and probably something akin to pyromancy. The sort of primal magic. Okay, I think I have to equip this. Where's our ring slots? Oh. I just noticed we don't have ring slots anymore. Bolts, yeah. So it's no more like equipping rings, you just have them? Or do I have to use it from my inventory? I think that's why it was telling me about the strange looking horse. Quite strange. So yeah, you can attack from horseback, which means some horse v horse combat could happen with that guy. Oh, it's already in my inventory, so let's see. It's not those. What did it say? Left bumper? To pull that up? Oh, you know what? I think you have to equip... Yeah, you have to put it in equipment, even though it's... I don't know what that icon at the top left is, then. I thought that was the it's already equipped icon. So yeah, you can equip this. Alright. So that's a nice thing to add. Smithing table. I was gonna say, so we just do all of the smithing ourselves, but it says there's a better one there, so you probably have a cap on how high you can level up your weapon. Up to +3. So yeah, you can't go too high with them. And I assume it still goes up to a cap of 10. Well, I don't have any runes right now. I guess I died without recovering them at one of the points. What's Santa got to say over here?
You're a Tarnished.
And what is this? What is this tool they all seem to have?
That you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Kale, purveyor of fine goods. I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only Tarnished like yourself who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer. You know, if you can spare the runes, you should buy yourself a crafting kit. A crafting kit allows you to make basic items on your own. Essential, really, if you intend to survive out here for any duration. The kit costs a bundle, and I admit I do take my cut. But the important thing is that you survive. Every customer counts, after all.
Well, it's nice that you can ask them about stuff like that, and that they actually have more dialogue than just, buy something, will ya? Throwing daggers, telescope, furl calling finger remedy. Interesting that it reveals signs, because that assumes you can't see them by default otherwise. Okay, that's for crafting bombs. Crafting kit, 300. Well, again, I don't have any runes right now. I'm very broke. Nomadic cookbook, arrow, bolt. Torch would be nice, because it's actually pretty dark in the caves that we started. Large leather shield. Chain coif, chain gauntlets. Waypoint runes, flask of wondrous physic.
Goodbye for now.
Also, where did that note I bought end up? Examine using X. Note sold by a nomadic merchant imparting knowledge and breathe. Land squirts are soft where they touch the ground, and poison will cause them to rupture. Okay, I think that's the slimes that we saw. The bony slimes. And now that we have done all that, it points us in a new direction. But I think a good way to end this off is we're going to take Torrent down to that spot where we found the jump and see what's beyond it. I think that's a good resolution for what we've done so far. Come get me now, fucker. Let's see you attack my frame rate from this far away. He is actually following me pretty far, isn't he? And he is still killing my frame rate just by existing. Oh no, I went the wrong way. This is the bats area. So yeah, I wonder if there's bosses where it is actually better to fight them on horseback. Oh, these things just respawn, don't they? Like, that giant probably would have been easier on horseback because I can hack at his ankles and then get out of range of his return attack. Like that. Okay, I was wondering if you could attack only to the one side, but left bumper attacks to the left, right bumper attacks to the right. There we go, that's the bleed damage. Wow, this is way easier. I really picked hard mode when I tried to take him on foot. Okay, if I can get another bleed on him, that should finish him off. I'm just expecting him to throw his sword at me. Also, there's no real, like, dodging when you're on horseback. You just kind of sprint out of the way. I should be targeting his legs, though. What? Don't target whatever that is? Uh-oh. I accidentally meant to heal and forgot I still had the horse ring equipped. Torrent, I have need of you. Like, why doesn't this giant cause stutters, you know? When he's stomping around and slamming, I'm barely getting any, but when I'm fighting the tree sentinel, it's like, nope. And I say that, and I got one at the end. Okay, we didn't even fucking get anything for that except runes. Got 1,000, though. Okay, can I jump this? Oh, we can double jump. Fancy horse. I like how most of the animals do not give a shit about you for, like, a good amount of time. Man, this is like the most mobility, though, you've ever had. Well, no, you have a lot of mobility in Sekiro, but... double jump. And a horse you can summon at any time. Okay, let's actually accomplish our goal now that we killed the giant. That's another good point for this video, though, because we faced him earlier, and now we get our revenge. But yeah, I do wonder if enemies change at all with the day-night cycle. Oh, got yourself a horse, have you? So, fingers crossed that the next video of this I do, the stutters have been resolved, because it's really the only thing holding me back. Otherwise, I would love to just pour a bunch of time into this game. Oh boy. Oh, that goes so high. Oh, well. You know, I really did not know where I should go from there. I think it was to get across the gap, but I was like, is there a safe way to land this?
This way, Tarnished. May I have a word?
Who the fuck are you? Big hat lady? Wait, is this the one from the cutscenes? This is the one from the, like, animated cutscene, but she has a mark on her left side instead of her right.
A pleasure to meet thee, Tarnished. I am the witch Renna. I'd heard tell of a Tarnished hurtling about atop a spectral steed, and upon looking into the matter, the talk, I surmise, is of thee. Thou art possessed of the power, no? To call forth a spectral steed named Torrent.
I can call the spectral steed.
As I had hoped, I was entrusted this for thee by Torrent's former master.
Yeah, so she's the one that has, like, 4 arms. Spirit Calling Bell. Lone Wolf Ashes. So those are the minion summons.
'Tis a bell for calling forth spirits. Summon them with it. From ash and return to the Erdtree, the spirits will obey thine command but briefly, as they recall battles past. Now it is thine, to do with as thou wishest.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different potential spirits you can summon, and they're just there to be your buddy in fights. Alright, well, again, we have an objective that I want to complete before we wrap up this...
Tarnished.
What?
I doubt we shall again meet. But all the same, learn well the lands between. How long will it be, I wonder, before the Tarnished tire of obeisance to the 2 fingers?
I'm sure she'll show up again. But yeah, like I said, before we can wrap up this probably already long-ass video, we have a goal, and we're going to accomplish it. Which is to get across that gap that I just horribly died in. He just killed something, I don't know what. Though I feel like the horse having... Oh, never mind. Okay. I was about to say that the horse having a double jump means you can jump off bigger gaps and then just jump before you hit the ground. But it seems like he maintains his, velocity. Also, it seems the giant respawns, so... he's just a regular enemy. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just something about this boss is especially bad for the frame rate. And only when he's active. You know, I was a little concerned about where my runes would have dropped after falling in the ocean, but now it doesn't matter, because they're gone. So 1,000 runes is, you know, not really a big deal. That's pretty replaceable. It could also be that you don't maintain momentum when you fall. It's just if you fall a certain distance, it's auto kill. The Halo style. Is there anything on this side? The nature of this game means you do really have to check every friggin' corner for items. Even if some of them do respawn here. Alright, let's just make this fucking jump. So I need to go up, land on there, and then go across if I can. And if not, then we'll just say that's the end of the video. Okay, so whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, that really doesn't look like it goes anywhere. That kind of just looks like a death trap. Which means that the only purpose of that is just to get back up on the cliff where you can go anyway. Like, that's just for jumping back up, and that would lead you to where the bats are, to the left of the starting building. Okay, so I guess that'll do it for this first impressions into the very stuttery version of Elden Ring. Hopefully next time things will be smoother, but, well, I guess if they aren't smoother, there won't be a next time. Until it is fixed. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to properly play this game, but it's nice to have a little taste of it right now, just to soothe that fear of missing out. I guess I'm not really fear of missing out because I do have the game, and I could be playing it in a less than optimal state. What the fuck? Guide and gatekeeper for those returning to the roots. Okay, this is also a thing that just tells you where to go. Is this a different beach? No, this is where I went too far. That seems to be just pointing, like, into the cliff. But yeah. So that'll do it for now for Elden Ring. Thanks for joining me, and if you stuck around despite the stuttering, thank you. Hopefully, we'll have some more adventures together in the land of Limgrave, or I guess Limgrave is just this area. I don't know if that's the whole world. But until the next one, take care, y'all.